What is up, guys? Happy Sunday, week 3. And hey, I think you guys can hear the audio today. So we got everything situated. I did not go golfing this morning. I made sure that we are going to be able to have everything up and running today. So happy Sunday, guys. We're chilling for maybe a half an hour or so. Get your start sit questions down there. We're going to go over the active and inactive list here very soon. And then we're just going to, look around at stuff today. So let's have some fun. Good morning to Chase. I hope you're doing well, my guy. I've been trying to answer your questions in here as they come through. For me, I don't know if I want to mess with the Packers defense, man. Judy, Tillman, Njoku, Fannin, there's just a lot of mouths to feed there. I think I'm going to go Devonta Smith here over Jerry Judy. Audio is good. Audio is clean. I think I need to get a computer update at some point, but my issue was I don't think my computer had enough time to load up the other day. I came in hot from golf and nothing worked. I ended up having to restart the computer after we failed the Sunday morning show. So I think I got all of Chase's questions answered in there for you. Yeah. So we got everything in there. If you have more stuff, keep them coming. I'm going to hit refresh on some of my feeds. We did get the Juwan Jennings news blurb. He's not going to play today. So I like Ricky Pearsall today, guys. Mac Jones showed the ability to hit Ricky Pearsall and Juwan Jennings both cleanly last week. I don't see that stopping. So it looks to me heavy CMC, heavy Ricky Pearsall, maybe some Kendrick Bourne today. No Juwan Jennings, so we're going to like Ricky Pearsall. Yeah, I saw you had Ricky, in this situation, I feel good about all of these guys today. Like, I think that the Denver Chargers game could be really fun, and I think Sutton bounces back after his dud last weekend. Now, with Igbuka, it's more of like a Bronco or a Buccaneers macro thing where I'm nervous about the offensive line. I'm nervous about that game not necessarily being very competitive. I guess it could be similar to what we saw last weekend, but Igbuka, if he doesn't catch a touchdown last weekend, we're a little disappointed. So I'm gonna, and just with the illness or whatever, the other guy's got the illness, just the Igbuka injuries, I'm gonna err on the side of caution with Igbuka today. And good morning to Harris. Stevenson or JCM? So I did a TikTok live, which I hate TikTok live. It's so bad. It's like if I could just do my YouTube stuff here and do it over there, like that'd be nice. But I got so many Bill Krosky merit questions today, and I don't have a good read on this backfield. I don't know what they want to do. They're also playing the Raiders, who haven't allowed teams to, like, Gentry got bottled up. Not Gentry. The Patriots backs got bottled up against them week 1, and then they also bottled up Amari Hampton and Najee Harris. So I don't really have a good read on how well the command, and we're playing with Marcus Mariota, which makes me a little bit nervous too for just the overall productivity of the offense. So I'm going to go Ramondre Stevenson here. The Pittsburgh Steelers have not been able to stop the opponents running or passing. So I am thinking Stevenson is where you want to be today, Harris. Yeah, the Bucks are very, very much banged up. Next, so week 4, though, they're going to get some guys back. I think they get Tristan Wirfs, they get Godwin. The offensive line issues, though, are very real on Tampa Bay. I still think Bucky Irving is going to be a good play today, but I am nervous across the board for the Bucks a little bit. To me, it's not close. Like, I'm starting Sutton in what I think is going to be a pretty fun game. Denver and the Chargers. Dude, I need Brian Thomas Jr. to bounce back so bad. The underlying data looks fine. The targets are there. I trust Liam Cohen to make adjustments. I mean, we're probably going to see the first play of the game go to Brian Thomas Jr. That's, if not the first play, it's on the first drive. So I think Brian Thomas Jr. bounces back. I want to see him and Trevor Lawrence succeed in week 3. But let's. I'm just going to refresh some of the updates here. If you guys do have questions, please get them in. And if you're just joining the show, don't forget to like the video, subscribe. Thank you. I appreciate it. Tucker Kraft is active today after that knee scare that we had. I think it was on Thursday. It was pretty scary stuff. No Juwan Jennings today. Cheers if you got Jordan Mason, man. I think it's going to be a really fun Jordan Mason run out here with Aaron Jones on IR. And more good news for the Vikings is they're getting back their left tackle, Christian Darrisaw. So that's a pretty big deal as well for the Vikings. If you have Cam Scatabo, it is a tough matchup against the Kansas City Chiefs. But I think better days are ahead for the Giants rushing attack if Scatabo keeps getting more opportunities. So he's more of like a fringe RB2 flex. Like Scatabo might be in the same grouping as like Hampton and Bill Krosky Merritt for me. It's kind of like a dirty running back 3 group that Scadabo's in, but we'll see. Tyler Warren, good to go today. The Jackson Smith-Njigba stuff. And hey, good morning, Ryan. It's Brian Thomas Jr. time, baby. Let's go. Jackson Smith-Njigba. If you have him, I think you're playing him. He's too good to sit against the Saints. The fact that they're already, expecting it, like I think he's going to be fine. I don't want to sit JSN today. There really isn't like Brock Purdy out, Mac Jones in. Igbuka's snaps could be monitored. Not a lot of news today. I'm going to hit refresh one more time and then we'll get to Steven's question there. Ooh, Xavier Legette inactive today. That's interesting. All right. Good morning, Steven. Start 1. Oh, my goodness. We're not starting Igbuka. It's between Tet McMillan and A.J. Brown. Now, the A.J. Brown stuff has been pretty bad. And Tet McMillan he's passed the test for 2 straight weeks. I think McMillan offers you that safe 8 to 12 point floor already. And then just the opportunity. Like, I think the Falcons are also missing their top cornerback. So Tet McMillan looks like a potential interesting target guy today. And we just saw Xavier Legette is out here as well. I don't really have a lot of faith in the Eagles passing attack right now. It just hasn't looked good. AJ Brown is a baller. He is one of my favorite receivers. I got a Tennessee Titans AJ Brown jersey somewhere around the house. I loved him as a rookie, but I think I'm going to go Tet McMillan here, man. I think he offers the combo of high floor and just as much ceiling as AJ Brown would potentially have. But Brown's just got this wide range of outcomes right now. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if AJB pops off today. So if you want to play it a little bit risky, I think AJ Brown does offer, 20, 25 point ceilings. But I think Tet McMillan, I think I'm going to take the combination of high floor and a pretty high ceiling from Tet. I mean, I'm probably playing Jackson Smith-Njigba over Marvin Harrison still here. I just don't really trust the Marvin Harrison Jr. volume. He's not generated. He's kind of like a DK Metcalf play, where you're hoping for 4 or 5 catches and a touchdown. If he doesn't get the touchdown, we're not going to be feeling all that great. So I'm going to stick with JSN and BTJ if that's the question. And then, AJ Terrell, that's who it is. So I like Tet McMillan today. I think Carolina Atlanta is an interesting game today. To me, man, I'm pretty excited about this Cowboys game today, man. And so I'm starting to use Underdog for pick'ems. I don't love Underdog's best ball stuff, but their pick'em stuff is elite. I absolutely love it. Let's look at George Pickens' card today. 56 receiving yards is kind of his line, 3.5 receptions. So they're giving him basically 4 for 60, which I feel, if I'm a betting guy, like I would probably take the over on both of these here. I feel pretty good about that. If you guys do play on Underdog, like I like doing this a lot where you can kind of move the barometers here, and Pickens will catch 3 passes today. So I do like this game quite a bit. I like Dak. I like Caleb. I think this is going to be a really fun game to watch in the afternoon slate. And hey, we get morning football next week in Ireland, so that's going to be exciting to look forward to for next Sunday. But anyways, I'm hitting refresh here. Any more inactive, active news? We'll find out. It looks like it's a pretty tame Sunday. I'll recap it again if you're just missing or just joining. Leggett inactive. We like Tet McMillan. Tucker Kraft, good to see him active after his injury scare. No Juwan Jennings today. No Brock Purdy today. And that was kind of it. Like, I'm expecting Zach Charbonnet to be ruled out later today. Tyler Warren, good to go. There's not a ton of news going on here. Flex Ford or Mims. I don't really have a good feeling on either of these guys today. I suppose, if you just want to collect an easy 8 points, it's probably Ford, just with his ability to get volume, and he led the team in snaps and he catches passes and stuff. Like, Ford's the safe. If you just want to get 6 to 8 points, that's probably Jerome Ford in full PPR. If you're playing, and you need a big touchdown or something, that's Mims. If you need 20 points, it's Mims. If you want 8 points, it's Ford. But keep in mind, with Mims, you might be looking at 2 points. So huge range of outcomes. I'm going to go Ford here, I guess, as the safe play. Kicker questions. Oh, my goodness. Boswell, Butker, Parker, Romo. Okay. I mean, I feel pretty good about Boswell. Boswell and that Steelers offense, I think they're going to be able to move the ball today. He's one of the best kickers in the league, too. I know Butker's up there as well, but I do feel pretty good about what Boswell and the Steelers can do today. The most kicker points per game right now, Broncos are allowing the most. Panthers are allowing the second most. This might not be a bad spot for Parker Romo as well. I think I'm going to stick with Boswell here, but I don't hate Parker Romo. But I'm going to stick with Boswell as my answer, Steven. Let's see if we got any more player news updates for us here. I think we're all set. Here's some more active and actives for us. All right, Ryan's got Hunter. Ooh, a lot of rookies here, my man. A lot of rookies. Let's go Travis Hunter, Trayvon Henderson, or Fannin over Marvin. No, I'm going to stick with Marvin Harrison Jr. here. I did express a little bit of concern with Marvin, but I mean, they have two guys to throw the ball to. I still think Marvin, he can get his 4 for 60 and you'll be happy. 2 for 27 last week is a concern. But last year against the 49ers, 2 for 36, and then a 5 for 63 and a touchdown. So, we know like these two games are what it's going to be for Marvin most of the year. Now, if he doesn't score a touchdown, it'd be nice to get those floors higher. But they really haven't had to throw the ball in 2 games here. They've been playing comfortably against the Saints and the Panthers. Now we're on the road in San Francisco here. I do have confidence in Marvin Harrison Jr. to get some volume today, whether it's 4 or 5 catches. I just don't know if he's a huge ceiling play today, but I could be wrong. I think he's still a good play over these guys here that you have listed. Yeah, I think Fannin is the right move. The Packers are a really good defense, man. They're going to have to dink and dunk and get the ball out quick to these tight ends today. Whereas Strange, I still like Bretton Strange. He's not a game-changing tight end, though. He's just a reliable tight end, almost like a Cade Otton kind of is for Tampa Bay. And in terms of fantasy points allowed, Bretton Strange going up against the Houston Texans, it looks like the Texans are pretty good against the tight end so far. They're only allowing 6 catches, 32 yards and a touch. Packers, on the other hand, we did see Sam Laporta have a good game against them in week 1. We saw Zach Ertz have a good game against them in week 2. I think Fannin, pretty easy call for me over Brenton Strange. I don't think so, man. I still think I'm going to hold on to Bo Nix, man. We've seen, one bad game from Nix, one good game from Nix on the road in Indianapolis and in what was a nice game. We have Troy Franklin developing. You still got Marvin Mims and Sutton, and then these running backs are pretty good. I think the health of the Broncos offense going forward versus the Jets, like we don't know what to really like from the Jets outside of Fields, maybe Wilson and Brees. I think I'm going to lean with the more talented offense. Bo Nix can still get some rushing. He really hasn't shown the rushing volume stuff yet, but I think I'm going to take Bo Nix over Fields rest of season. So the thing about Tony P is he's getting the volume, and his underlying data looks pretty good. If you look under the hood at some of the advanced metrics for a guy like Tony Pollard, it looks good. He's breaking tackles. He's doing a lot of nice stuff. He's got 152 yards on the year, and he's getting these 9-point games. And one of those is with a fumble. Now, where I want to see more, we need Cam Ward to settle down and start hitting Tony Pollard more. We need 2-3 catches from Tony Pollard per game. So I still think I'm going to take the Tony Pollard floor here of the 9 to 10 points. And if there's any opportunity for him to score a touchdown for the first time this year, I think it's pretty strong. You're looking at his games from last year. He had 17 for 93 and a touchdown against the Colts. Week 16, 8 for 35. We had Tajay Spears kind of getting a lot of workload at the end of the year. So I'm still hoping that we can get those 10 points from Tony Pollard from his rushing and receiving workload. And then I think the chances for a touchdown are pretty decent today for Tony Pollard. So, I think I'm going to take the 10 points and take the risk on the Pollard touchdown today. Because they're at home against the Colts. I think Cam Ward has, shown some things that he can do nicely, but we need to see him start hitting Tony Pollard in the flats. But give me the 20 Pollard touches. I want the 20 Pollard touches over the potential 3-4 Marvin Harrison touches as a floor. Let's go ahead and hit refresh on the news. No Dameon Pierce today for the Texans. I still like Woody Marks guys as someone to add on your bench for future. I think he could be a guy worth looking into. So I'm pretty frustrated with how they're using him, not only because of the offensive defensive stuff, but they're kind of just treating him as like a slot receiver, which is fine. But they're not really letting him stretch the field. He's third on the team in snaps and routes behind Dyami Brown. So we're kind of just he's kind of like a Jaden Reed type play, where every week you're going to get a few plays out of him, but we haven't seen the touchdown yet. We haven't seen anything super big downfield yet. I'm not going to say he's a bust yet because it is only week 2. Rookies typically only get better as the year goes on. I don't want him to play defense. I almost just want him to focus on offense because he's fine defensively, but it's very hard to be great at either side of the ball if you're focusing on two things, especially at this age. So not a fantasy bust yet. I think there's going to be big games for him coming up. It would have been nice if it happened last weekend, but because they had some injuries on that side of the ball, they kind of had to put him a little bit more on defense than offense. But so far, 14 targets is pretty solid. 9 for 55. If we can get these, again, 6.1 yards per catch, that's what I want to see. I want to see some more, 10 to 15 intermediate targets with this guy. So I think that's where he excelled, especially as a deep receiver too. But the targets are looking good. So 7 targets, man. I think we're happy with this per game. We just need to start getting some more advanced routes out of Travis Hunter, which I think will come maybe as the season goes on. Yeah. I'd like to see him maybe run the ball too. They kind of do these, they kind of do these things with AJ or Brian Thomas Jr. and they kind of do some things with Dyami Brown in the running game. I'd like to see some of that with Mr. Hunter because we know he's super cool and athletic. Let's take a look here at our guy, Travis Hunter, and see what Underdog is saying. They got him at 37.5 yards, 4.5 receptions. I think for today, I'm open to taking, I guess they got him at 4.5. If I can get that at 3.5, I would do that. But they're kind of giving him 4 for 40, 5 for 40, something like that. I want more downfield stuff with my man here, Oof, Thomas or my guy Nico. I think it's a Nico day for sure. And as someone who's heavily invested in both BTJ and Nico, I think it's a good day for both guys. But they threw the ball a ton at Nico Collins last weekend against Tampa Bay, and they were just off on a few plays. I think Nico, if I had to start one guy between the two, I'm going to go with Nico Collins today. I think I'm going to probably, if I can juice this to, I mean, you can get this all the way to 3.5. He's catching more than 3 passes today. That's a good way to kind of build. You can start that with the building block here. I'd probably also take a BTJ over 4.5, something like that could be kind of fun. But Nico, let's look at, I just got to show you guys what Nico Collins was up to last season against these Jacksonville Jaguars, because it was pretty nasty what Mr. Collins did to these poor Jags. See if we can get in here a little bit deeper. So week 4, 15 targets, 12 receptions, $151 and a touchdown, 33.1 points. Nico against the Jags. Week 13, Nico, 11 targets, 8 receptions, $119, no touchdown, but you get 20 fantasy points. You're happy with a guy like Nico Collins. And then I went and looked at his 2023 game log. He didn't have a big game week 3, but towards the end of the season here, week 12, 7 for 104 and a touchdown. He likes playing the Jags, man. It's in Jacksonville. I do have a lot of questions on the Houston Texans side of the ball. Offensive line, lack of run game. But to me, at least we got the touchdown from Nico last week. But it's very clear they're trying to get him the ball. I think he gets the ball today. Brian Thomas Jr., man, and nobody's really talked about, Texans pass defense against the Jags. I think we're going to be okay. I think Brian Thomas Jr., and I think they asked him this earlier in the week here. It's like, what do you think about going up against what's his name from Houston? I can't think of his name. But last year, Brian Thomas Jr. at Houston, and this is a game with Trevor Lawrence, 6 for 86 and a touchdown, 13-yard carry, 22 fantasy points. And then later in the season, did he not play in the Houston game? Houston, here we go. 4 for 76 and a touchdown, another 11-yard rush. So we're averaging about 20 points per game against the Texans. I think Brian Thomas Jr., Stingley, there you go. I got Pat Surtain on the brain today because I'm super excited for this Chargers-Broncos game. But I think Jags-Houston, man, that could be a fun little game here. But I think both teams are not feeling great, especially after Jacksonville kind of pissed it away against the Bengals. But we're looking at Texans maybe going to 0-3 here on the road. Like, that's going to be a lot of focus on them getting a win today. And good morning to Daniel. All right. Stevenson, DeAndre Swift, Bill Krosky-Merritt, and I believe that's Ricky Pearsall. So, Daniel, we saw the news that Juwan Jennings is not playing today. I think this one's pretty easy. I think we're going Ricky Pearsall, man, pretty easily. Now, I think my overall take on Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, man, I did a TikTok live about an hour ago and basically seemed like every other question was JCM or this guy. And I don't know how to predict the Commanders' backfield. We're going to see Chris Rodriguez up today as well. The Raiders, as bad as it was on Monday Night Football, they are pretty good against running backs. They've stopped the Patriots from running the ball. The Chargers don't run the ball, but they didn't have success when they did try to run the ball. The Raiders, I don't know if we want to pick on them quite yet. And you also have Marcus Mariota coming into this one. Let's see here. The Raiders, they're the 5th best team against fantasy points. They have not allowed a touchdown yet. They haven't even allowed 100 yards rushing from running backs yet on the season. So if I can sit Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt today, that's what I want to do. And I want to learn about this back because Austin Eckler's out of the picture. So maybe we see some more work for JCM in the receiving game. Maybe that's just all Jeremy McNichols. Maybe we see Chris Rodriguez get some short yardage stuff because that's what he's good at. I want to learn about this Commanders split at running back. DeAndre Swift, he's kind of coming in questionable. Like, he's going to play today, but he's been nursing a hamstring throughout the week. So I want to kind of see what that looks like. And then Stevenson, I do like Stevenson, but I kind of want one more data point on this Patriots backfield split, because now we saw Gibson getting touches last week, which concerned me a little bit. Stevenson looked great, but I think we're taking Ricky Pearsall pretty easily here, guys. I don't know if anyone else agrees in the chat, but no Juwan Jennings, Mac Jones, just close your eyes and you can see Ricky Pearsall being the white BTJ for today. That's what we're going to do with our guy, Daniel Jones. So I'm going Ricky Pearsall here. If I didn't want to go Ricky Pearsall, Daniel, I would be playing Ramondre Stevenson. Goffworth Ravens. The Ravens Lions game, man, there's a bajillion points implied in this game. I think this is going to, we're going to get rewarded on Monday night with a good game. Let me look at this score here. 53.5 points implied in this one. I think you want to play Goff. If my questions are Goff and Kyler Murray, Goff and maybe Bo Nix, Goff and I don't know, any other fringy quarterback ones, I'm going to lean Jared Goff. They're coming off a huge 5-touchdown passing day. Ravens, they're giving up quarterback points here, and a lot of that is because of the Josh Allen game. But I still think Jared Goff, it's a great environment for fantasy points. So we're going to go Jared Goff as a starting quarterback one this week. He's probably like a fringe top 10 QB this week. He's not going to run the ball, but he's got upside for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. So we got to do it. I'm going to see if we got any more news updates here, but we should be all clocked in. Yeah, I got no new news for you guys. So I think all the good stuff is out there for us today. We got a heavy noon slate. I think we got 9 noon games today. So we got some excitement to start the day. And then I kind of like the afternoon games, man. I think Dallas, Chicago is going to be fun. We got the NFC West battle. Got some good stuff here. So yeah, we'll talk about Mark Andrews here for a little bit. It took Mark Andrews about 4 or 5 weeks last season to get truly rolling. We do have Isaiah likely coming back next week. If Mark Andrews does not do anything on Monday Night Football, I'm going to have major concerns. If he comes out and gets, 4 for 60 and a touchdown, then I'm like, okay, we're happy. We're back. But if he's only catching 1 or 2 passes again in a game where we got the Lions in town, man, we got 54 points in this game implied. If Mark Andrews can't do it on Monday Night Football, my faith might be pretty much zero. So it's kind of judgment day for Mark Andrews on Monday Night Football. Lamar's just been spreading the ball around, and I think Lamar almost hit him for a touchdown last weekend. I think it might have been dropped by Mark. So losing faith, but he has the opportunity to redeem himself on Monday night. I see him bouncing back on Monday Night Football. I'm sitting Bill Krosky-Merritt today, unless I have, some other middling options at running back, then I would play Krosky-Merritt. But I think for me, I'm a little bit concerned about how this backfield's going to look. You also have a backup quarterback in Marcus Mariota. I don't think it's going to be a super high scoring game. I prefer, if I'm ranking Daniel, if I'm just ranking these 3 backs, I'm going Stevenson, Swift, and then Krosky-Merritt probably. But he can make me look really stupid here too. But to me, I'm willing to look stupid because we don't have any data on this guy. He's a 7th round rookie pick. He's had 1 nice game of 10 carries and a touchdown against the Giants. To me, I want to take the opportunity to learn this weekend. And if he beats me, he beats me. But I think you have good options in Ricky Pearsall and Stevenson. Those are 2 guys that I have more data and trust on, especially with no Juwan Jennings today. I think to me, that's usually how I go about my process is I'm just kind of looking at the other things. And if I know more information about something, I'm usually trying to stick with that. So I'm going to sit Bill Krosky-Merritt today, unless I have to, is basically what I'm going to do. Any more news updates for the folks here today? No, I think we're ready to roll, guys. If there's any more questions, and I always like it when we get agreement here. It makes me feel good about the process and things like that. But if we got any more questions, fire them up. Otherwise, I'm going to get out of here, guys. We got an hour till kickoff. I got some DraftKings lineups to look at. I got some underdog pick'ems to make. It's going to be a good Sunday. I'm pretty excited about it. If I had to just make some predictions real quick today, let's load up the schedule here. And hey, good morning, Jonathan. JMO or T. Biggins? I mean, I love T. Higgins, man. I just on the road in Minnesota, Jake Browning versus Carson Wentz. What could go wrong? I think I'm going Jameson Williams here in a big game, Monday Night Football against the Ravens. You know, this game could be 34-31. Like this game could go over 60. And we saw last weekend that all it takes with both guys, honestly, is one play for them to make your day. But give me Jared Goff and JMO. Let's maybe use today to learn and see how Jake Browning looks one more time here with a full start against a good defense. I'm going Jameson Williams here, my man. Pick 2, Christian Kirk, Hollywood Brown, Jameson Williams. We're going Jameson Williams as the lock. I don't really know how I feel about Christian Kirk. We haven't seen him yet through 2 games. He's coming back off a hamstring injury, but he's playing his former team. I don't think there's any bad blood between him and the Jags. But to me, it's kind of like what we were talking about earlier. I don't really know what to think of Christian Kirk. We haven't seen him yet play with CJ Stroud in this Texans offense, which doesn't look all that good to begin with. And for me, we've seen Hollywood Brown come out and get the targets. He didn't look as good last weekend against a good opponent, but now they're playing the Giants defense. I think Hollywood Brown probably offers me the safe floor and a nice ceiling. I think I'm going to go Jameson Williams, Marquise Hollywood Brown, and Christian Kirk as my third. I do still like Christian Kirk in this offense, though, because it looks like they do need a slot receiver. And if you guys remember, when CJ Stroud was dealing his rookie year, he was throwing well to Tank Dell and some of the other play. I guess Tank Dell was the second season. But it does look like CJ Stroud to the slot receivers could be nice. So I think you got something with Kirk for maybe next week, but let's learn this week and go with Hollywood and JMO. Daniel, this is the $1 million question that we had all August in my mock drafts. I've been a Ramondre fan. I've liked Ramondre's game. He slimmed down. He looked really good in week 2. I think he's going to continue to hold off Travion Henderson. Henderson, I think, had 3 holding calls last week against him. So he might be a little bit in the doghouse in snaps and routes today. I think for right now, I still want Henderson on my teams if I have it. But I guess I'm gonna say I'm gonna say Ramondre Stevenson rest of season by a hair, but they're kind of both the same guy. I'm assuming this is a super flex question. It seemed like Jaden Daniels had a chance to play today. They tried to get him on Friday. I think Flacco probably gets more starts than Mariota. So I don't know too much about it, but I guess Flacco for me has more starts than Mariota rest of season. Flacco at least gets you to week 7 when JJ McCarthy returns. It's a 1 QB redraft league. Oh, 1 QB. I mean, you're rocking Browning here. Flacco. It's Flacco over Mariota for me. But I'm going to make some game picks here, guys. I think the Packers beat the Browns. This line has come down. I think it was up to 9.5 at one point earlier in the week, and now we're down to 7.5. So not a lot of points to be had in this one. I still think the Packers win. One thing I like to do, and I didn't even load it up, but my props for today are loaded on the fantasyfellowship.com. Pearsall or Worthy rest of season. I think I'm still Ricky Pearsall here because we gotta deal with Rashee Rice coming back soon, and Worthy's still got to stay healthy. But I'm gonna go Ricky Pearsall over Worthy rest of season. Here's my prop page, guys. You guys can check it out at thefantasyfellowship.com. Just hover over the content tab and hit the player prop button. 13 of 20 on the year so far. And here's what we got cooking for today. We did hit on a James Cook anytime touchdown parlayed with Buffalo money line. I kind of like that for Josh Jacobs today too. If you want to take Jacobs touchdown with a money line Packers, that should get you some decent numbers here and feels pretty good. Jacobs is going for like the most consecutive touchdown streak. So I think they're going to get him a touchdown today. The other one that I liked with that same kind of strategy is Jonathan Taylor anytime touchdown and Colts money line. Taylor still has no rushing touchdowns. I think he gets one today against the Titans. But here's the touchdown bets that I'm liking today. You guys can take a look at that real quick. And my fellowship double tap special of the day. Basically, you take two guys on the same team, and if one of them scores, your bet still wins. But you're going to put, say you have a $20 unit, you put it on Puka, and then separately you put it on Devontae. If one of these guys scores, you're still going to make a little money. If both scores, that's where the big money comes in. But it's basically a free square bet to earn a little bit of money there, maybe half a unit at the least. Who's the best Packer receiver rest of season? I still think it might be Matthew Golden. Like, I've watched the film of Matthew Golden on Thursday Night Football, and that dude gets open. And I think they're probably going to start noticing that too, that, hey, we got to find ways to get our first-round rookie the ball. I think he is going to kind of operate like a Jameson Williams type in the Packers offense, where he is a big vertical threat. And I think now they're going to start to find ways to get him the ball quickly, because his first 1-2 step is pretty damn good. And I think we're going to start seeing some more screens and manufactured touches. They did give him the 2 carries last week, which was nice. So I still think the ultimate ceiling is with Matthew Golden, but it's probably Romeo Doubs who's going to continue leading the team in snaps and routes and be up there with targets. But for me, I want to see what Matthew Golden today. I think it's Matthew Golden getting some touches today. And then week 4, Sunday Night Football, we get to see the Packers Sunday Night Football against the Cowboys. Like, that's going to be fun. So to me, it's still Matthew Golden, the guy that I want on my teams. Other picks for today, give me the Colts over the Titans. This line's up to 5.5 now. Maybe the Titans cover that. Cincy at Minnesota. I'm going to go Cincinnati here. I don't know why. I just got a feeling Cincinnati pulls it off. Pittsburgh at New England. I think I'm going to take the Steelers here. Steelers are 1.5-point favorites as well in New England. So I think Rodgers beats Drake May. Rams at the Eagles. I think the Eagles are an upset alert here. Give me the Rams to cover the 3.5. That's what I'll say for that game. Jets at Tampa Bay. I'll go Tampa Bay. Raiders at Washington. This one could go either way. I want to see Geno Smith look better today against Marcus Mariota. I think the Raiders cover the 2.5. Atlanta at Carolina. I think Atlanta cruises in this one. They're going to cover the 4.5. Houston at Jacksonville. I think Jacksonville wins this one and they cover their spread. Denver at LA. This is one of my favorite games of the day. I like it to go over 45.5 perhaps, and give me the Chargers. Saints at Seattle. I think Seattle cruises in this one behind Kenneth Walker and hopefully a good game from JSN. Dallas at Chicago. Give me Dallas. Arizona at San Fran. Give me San Fran. Kansas City, New York Giants, man. I think the Giants cover the 6.5. Detroit, Baltimore. We'll go Baltimore. I think Wan'Dale eats tonight, man. I think Malik Neighbors is going to get a lot of attention from Steve Spagnuolo. I think Wan'Dale probably catches 5 or 6 balls, 60, 70 yards, good chance at a touchdown. I think Wan'Dale is a top 36 fantasy play at the receiver position. So we like Wan'Dale. And Gullies, good morning, my man. Travis Hunter, Christian Kirk, got no Worthy, no Juwan. I'm going Travis Hunter here, man. We were looking up Travis Hunter numbers earlier. I mean, he's got 14 targets on the year. Hasn't really, struck with those yet, but I think Hunter, give me those 7 targets per game so far. We just don't really know what to expect from Christian Kirk. It's his first game back with a hamstring too. I think he could have a nice day today. Stroud needs his slot receiver to succeed, but I'm going to go Travis Hunter here. And that's it for me, guys. Thank you. I appreciate it. We had 40 people up in here at one time. So that's good to see. Good luck today, guys. I wish everybody a fantastic Sunday. Hopefully your football team wins. Hopefully your fantasy team wins. Hopefully your bets cash. And hopefully you guys end up having a successful week 3. Thank you guys so much. Enjoy the day. We'll see you next time. Peace.